Next project, we're going to do the distributor. Let's see, I don't know if you can see it. There's down here, down there. Anyway, there's one bolt, and that distributor pops out. But then there's this line right here, this vacuum advance line that comes from the carburetor, right there, wraps around and then ties into that. So when the RPMs are higher, the vacuum pulls this distributor, the whole thing, to turn it to advance it. So that's one thing I'll have to modify for the new distributor. This is the wire coming from the key, 12 volts, goes through this resistor, kicks it down to about 6 volts, and then goes to the coil. Because you don't want to put 12 volts to your coil or it'll fry it. And this used to be a 6-volt truck. So I don't know if this is an original 6-volt coil or what the story is, but yeah, I know coils require coils and points require reduced voltage, blah blah blah, mumbo jumbo, fancy stuff. Running a HEI distributor, I can just unplug this and splice in direct 12 volts. Ooh, that's going to be close. That distributor is quite a bit bigger, so that's going to be really, really close to my oil thing. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But anyway, I bought this off of Amazon. Six-cylinder HEI. It's for all kinds of stuff, and it comes with this clamp. You put the clamp on there where you need it, tighten it down, and then bolt that down. So you can use this on multiple different applications. Has the vacuum advance that's internal, so the entire distributor won't turn anymore. It's inside here, so the stuff inside turns. And then I bought this pigtail. You can use spade connectors to plug in there, but this has a little clip, these little clips. Clip it in there and it holds it in place. And then right on top it tells you one's the tack and one's the battery. So the green one is the tack, the red one is the battery. So you basically, if you don't have a tack like me, this wire is, I don't need it. So I hook up that red wire to the 12 volts. Boom, that is it. That's all I need. So let's get to taking apart some of this stuff. I'll figure out how to sit you guys in here so you can kind of see what's going on. Or something. I don't know. There we go. Oh yeah. Firing order. Number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 1 is marked on the cap. We're down here. I don't know if you can see that, but 1, 5, 6, 3. Wait. 1, 5, 3, 6, 4, 4, 2. 2, 4. Anyway, 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4 is the firing order. There's a saying I keep trying to remember, and I know I always get it wrong. Let's see. It's funny. Yeah, there's a saying, I always get it wrong and I had to write it down. 15 is too young, 36 is too old, 24 is just right. If that's how you remember it, great. But yeah, I try to remember it. I have to look it up every single time. So if you have to look it up every single time, that's okay. We all do. Some of us do. It's a thing. It's fine. So let's pop those clips off. This is pointing, actually it's almost at number one right now. It's whoops, that's not right. So I will see if I can show you guys down here. Oh, hang on. Okay, let's do this. Let's do it. Let's spin you guys around. You off that thing, and then I'll show you. So, right there is the hole. That's where the timing marks are that are very hard to. Well, that didn't work. There. Oh, sure. Now my flashlight died. And if I rotate this, and my flashlight keeps dying. There's a couple marks and a ball bearing that we come across. Any second. There it is. All right. So in these pickups, that ball bearing is top dead center. You'll see it marked. You'll see it marked UC. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's the markings. Back then they called it upper center, and my rotor is now pointing at that mark, which says top dead center. So right now, top dead center on the compression stroke of number one is where we're sitting. And we'll go with that, and then start pulling some stuff apart. Let me. You guys get something on your. Oh, here. There. You guys better? Looks good. Okay. I'll start pulling some stuff apart and then catch you guys up in a second. I got that line's loose. I got the bolt out that holds this down. Before I pulled it out, what I did is where the rotor is pointing, I made a Sharpie mark right there. To when I put it back in, I can halfway line it up. I don't have to put it exactly where it needs to be, or where I could make it so the rotor points over here and this is number one and it does that, but that'll throw off anybody in the future that ever touches this thing, namely me. I will confuse the crap out of myself. So I just marked it there, and I'll get it close. So let's get this pulled out here. Let's see. So let's see, just for fun, right about here, right about here. This is roughly I marked it again right there. That's roughly where the distributor points, and then when you slide it in and it rotates, click, it points to there. Look at that cute little fella. It's tiny. Let me bring you guys over here. So, comparison of old versus new. The old distributor here. This is the new one. So, one thing I need to measure is how deep this is and how deep that needs to be. So I get this so everything engages properly. Another thing is it's hard to tell, but that distance looks the same. Let's find a tape measure. Let's find a tape measure and do, like, I don't know, measuring things, math stuff. Whoa. Hang on, here we go. Get you guys up there. Okay. So 2 3/4 ish. That is 2 3/4. So the gear to the oil pump is the same. And then the clamp is 5 7/8. Sorry, 4 7/8. So 4 7/8 is right there. Put a little oil drip right there. What I can do is throw my marker on the ground. Alright, I left you guys over here staring at nothing because I threw my marker on the ground. And that dot right there. That dot right there. So from this lip up to the mark is a 1/4 inch. So let's move this out of the way. Set this over here for now. And there it is. One way to do this, take a piece of tape, my marker bled. But the top of that line is where we want that to be. Above, we want this to be above that. So when we put this on here, we want this to be, its final spot to be right there. That way it ensures that this is the exact same depth. This engages the oil pump, this engages the cam to spin everything. So, yeah. Let's take, I'm gonna I got the mounting surface smoothed up. Let's see. When this, oh, the gasket fell off. When this goes in, if we're pointed, say we're here, and then it goes in, it goes shunk to there. That is not at all pointing where I need it to point for the oil pump. Oil pump's going this way. So I need a really long screwdriver to go down there and manipulate that. Wait a minute, I'm a dummy. Yeah, that's in the right spot. There it is. Okay, drop my gasket, got it. And put that back on there. This hold down, the other hold down was just one thin piece of metal. This hold down is thicker, so I got a longer bolt to put in there. Knew I shouldn't eat that popcorn. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, stay. Stay. Now, we have to, so we're pointed there. Let's see. There. Now, that is not down all the way. Boop. Not quite getting into that oil pump. like I need to be. Be right about there. Okay, clearance there. Real quick, just for fun. Notch is right there. Just seeing where this is going to be clocked when it's in. There's a little nub right there that lines up with a little divot. In the perfect world, that would be it. But, well, maybe when we get it in there. I don't know, we'll see. I gotta, it's not, double check. So the old one, it's the same width and the same length and the same everything else. The other one has just a slight bevel. So I don't know if that's what's giving me trouble and that's not slipping into the hole down there. Unless it is in the spot and I just measured incorrectly. Let's go measure again. Let's go measure again. So I measured from the bottom of there. So there's a little lip. I don't know if you can see it, yeah. That little lip there, so that goes inside the block over there, which we don't have on this one. So I'm measuring from not that to the tip is blurry, but it's 4 7/8. So this one will go 4 7/8, puts us right at that line. Puts us right at my line that I made. From the line to the top of the gear is 2 inches. From the line to the top of the gear is 2 and almost an 1/8. 3/4, 2 3/4. The line, 2 inches, 2 5/8, 2 5/8. So the gear is really close, unless, what is that, 3 1/8? 3 1/8. 3 1/8, so that shouldn't be in no way. Okay. Maybe if I fiddle with that, not with that screwdriver. There it is. So is that one going to fit? Well, that was fun. Got some light out here, so because seeing under this hood is a little hard, a little dark. Tripped over the light, hit the camera. Let's see. Unless, one thing I didn't look at, unless it is lining up and bottoming out, I bet that's it. I bet it's in there. So the old distributor, this is not as long. It is about pretty close to that short. So I bet this is bottoming out in the oil pump, and that's what we're hitting, and then that's why we're off up here. So I'll give it a shot and see what happens. And hope for the best. When I stuck that screwdriver in there, that oil pump turned nice and smooth. So let's see, right there, right there. Get that in, right there. And I bet, that being the case, that needs to turn just a tiny bit more to be lined up with that mark. It's a little down here. So I bet if that was where that needed to be, or was supposed to be, it would line up better. So, now if we put let's get this out the way. You know what? I'm feeling confident in my ableness to time this. Just pull that out. Okay, now where's my notch? Right there. Right there. So, if we turned that would make this number 1. And we're hitting there. Here's what I'll do. Yes?
Don't know how it ended up happening, but this is what my glove looks like.
You're sharpening a sword. I don't know how it happened either. Dang it, lost my gasket again. Hold on. Don't be putting that in there without a gasket. All right. Let me, give me a minute to try and figure this out. Because I feel like I should be able to get this aimed and timed better. So, yeah, give me a minute to try and figure this out. And when I get something figured out, I'll show you guys. So I got it in there, got it bolted down, mounted up. She's solid. She's solid. I pulled all the spark plugs out. This is what we see on the spark plugs. 1 and 2 look a little darky dark. The rest are not too terribly bad. There's some weird buildup on this guy. So I'll clean these up and then re-gap them with HEI. The gap needs to be at like 40, 45-ish, and these are at 0.03. So these need to be gapped open a little more. So I'll clean those up and then gap them and then put them in and then get the plug wires all up, and then we'll see if I was successful. Got her. She's all solid. I kind of eyeballed it. I wish I had 2 plug wires that were just a tiny bit longer for these 2 guys here, but 'tis what it is. Maybe I can switch this guy and that guy, and maybe I can switch, put a shorty on that one and then these 2 on those 2. But got the wire hooked up, 12 volts. Got that plugged in. This is on. Plugs are all gapped to 0.045. So let's give her a shot. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't know if it'll start right away or the first time, but we'll give it a see. Alright, I think I'm at a point where I need some assistance from my lovely helper.
I'm gonna cut my finger one more time. Okay.
Jeffrey's shining up a sword for the car show. Only cut his finger how many times?
Twice.
Twice?
I know of.
Here, come here. Let me see your face.
I know.
Got a little something on there.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to have him start it. And I'm going to mess with the timing. This I put right in the center. So let me loosen this up. Let me give him a quick pointer on how to start this thing. Okay. It's in neutral. It's in neutral, so I don't want to put that. Nope, you don't have to. You can plug it. That's the starter. Push that, pump the gas a couple times. I don't like how noisy that is. Whoa, whoa. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and cut it off. Okay, I'm going to make a few adjustments and go from there.
What makes you think my face is dirty?
Just your face. Okay. Come on, let's get out of there. So I loosened up that bracket. And
should I make a new handle?
If you want to.
Or just use a 2x4?
Okay, that's all snugged up. I'm going to see if I can't switch these wires here.
Take a 2x4.
Yeah.
Is this one okay if I use it?
Yeah. I guess. There. That's a little better. They're not so snug now. Unfortunately, when I was turning the timing, I turned until it hit that, my vacuum advance. So if I want to do any more timing that way, I need to pull it out and move it over a tooth. My oil pressure jumped up to 60. Vacuum gauge, here's what I'm looking for. These trucks are hard to time. Or I haven't found a good way to time it. Wait a minute. That's the fuel pressure gauge. That's not what I'm looking for. Silly goose. Let me find my stuff. Got her done. I think I moved that over a tooth. Pulled it out, put it over, put it back in. Give me a little more play with the timing. I hooked a vacuum gauge to this port right here. Moved the distributor back and forth until the vacuum was at its highest, which I think was probably before I moved it over a tooth, when this was touching that there. Ow, ow, everything's hot. I think it's about the same as where it was. I probably could have left it how it was and been fine. Excuse me. But yeah. Pretty happy with the result. We'll see how much better this thing runs, if it does that thing where it does its thing. But got the distributor on. That's been one of those projects I've been putting off, and now it's done, and got the cool headlight rings on, and so thanks for watching. I think I'll call it a day on working on stuff. And like, subscribe, tell your friends. Thanks for watching.